Our comprehension strategy is graphic organizers, and we will be talking about the definition of the strategy, the purpose and impact of the strategy, the goal of the strategy, and then examples of graphic organizers.
The definition of a graphic organizer is a visual and graphic display that depicts the relationships between facts, terms, and/or ideas within a learning task. Graphic organizers are also sometimes referred to as knowledge maps, concept maps, story maps, cognitive organizers, advanced organizers, or concept diagrams.
The purposes of graphic organizers are to help students remember what they read and to help students organize their thoughts while they read. They can be used during reading, and here are the ways that graphic organizers can be used in teaching.
Graphic organizers can be used to teach sequencing, vocabulary knowledge, organizational skills, relating information to main themes and ideas, comparing and contrasting concepts, note-taking, and cause and effect.
The goal of graphic organizers is to improve comprehension through organization of thought.
Some examples include Venn diagrams, story maps, timelines, and web diagrams.
This is an example of a Venn diagram.
This is an example of a story map.
This is an example of a timeline.
This is an example of a web diagram. Hi there, today we are going to be going over an example of using a graphic organizer after reading a book. In this example we are going to be using Curious George, and we have a graphic organizer which teachers typically assign after their student has read a book and to help them remember the information, the important points from the book. Nice job reading Curious George, Brianna. Let's talk about some of the details from the story.
Okay.
So you've got a graphic organizer there. Let's go ahead and fill out some of the main details that we've already discussed. So we can go ahead and fill out the line with a story title. What's the title of our story?
Curious George.
Okay. And what were some of the main characters that you saw while we were reading Curious George?
Well, George.
Okay.
And the man with the yellow hat.
Okay. Okay, so, where else was the story set? Let's talk about some of the settings, because there was a couple of them, wasn't there?
Well, it started in Africa.
Okay,
And then it moved to the ship.
okay,
And then where the man lived, which was probably America. And then the zoo.
okay. So when you're going through and filling out this graphic organizer, what you need to do is this is kind of our introduction here, the setting and the main characters. You are going to go ahead and fill in some details about the rising action, so what happens, and then the climax of the story, which is like the big event, what everything's building up to, and then the falling action, and then the resolution. And so that's how major problems are solved. And when you're going through and filling out the organizer, you want to start at this bottom line here with what happens first in the story. That way it's following that triangle part of the graphic organizer.
This is really going to help me remember the story.
Good. So I'll give you a couple minutes to finish that, and then I'll check back and we can talk about some of it.
Okay.
Okay, nice job, Brianna. I see you've got this completely filled out. Do you have any questions about the graphic organizer?
No, but it really helped me remember the story.
Yeah, so what was the climax of this story?
The climax was when George telephoned the fire station and was put into prison.
Oh no! And then what was the resolution? How were the major problems solved?
George finally found the man with the yellow hat and then finally made it to the zoo.
Okay, so he made it back to the zoo, which is where he needed to go. Nice job. So these are the type of resources that we can use when we are going through a story and it's a lot of information, so it's a good way for us to walk through each little part of the story and write down that information in a way that we can remember. Nice job.
Thank you.